Chapter 207 Wagered fight. Little Junior, don't spout nonsense. Elder Long is on the same level as Teacher was, and possesses the Darkness Dragon. His title is the Dragon Emperor. He is possibly the last remaining top-ranked Soul Master who has contributed greatly to society. Yan Shaosh was anxious as he spoke. Little Junior, are you Yuan's disciple too? Long Xiaya didn't react to Huo Yuao's cursing. On the contrary, he was surprised by his identity. Huo Yuao straightened his chest and said, "That's right. I am Teacher's closed-door disciple. You're at least 200 years older than me. But if you were the same age as me, you wouldn't be my match. And if Teacher was still alive, I don't think you'd be daring enough to attack anyone from Shrek Academy." Huo Yuao wasn't being impulsive. He could tell that this Dragon Emperor Douluo wasn't willing to attack both of them. Yan Shaosh was a transcendent Douluo. If Long Xiaya didn't care and attacked him, it was still acceptable. But what about Huo Yuao? He wasn't even 20 years old, while Long Xiaya was an ultimate Douluo that had lived for more than 200 years. Would he really directly attack him? In addition, he was also an old friend of Elder Mu. That was why Huo Yuao exploited the opportunity as Long Xiaya attacked to reveal himself. He roared furiously and blocked in front of Yan Shaosh with his body. Long Xiaya squinted his eyes and focused his attention on Huo Yuao's vertical eye. Third eye. A very special martial soul and feeling. You claim that I'm bullying the weak. Fine. What if you attack me then? I'll only use rank 50 soul power just like you. If you can make me move even slightly from where I'm standing, I'll take it as your win. I won't demand that ring on your finger either. I didn't expect Mu N to accept another disciple just before he passed away. I'm curious as to what he saw in you. Huo Yuao twisted his head to look at Yan Shaosh. Yan Shaosh hadn't expected anything like this either. He thought of something, and he nodded to Huo Yuao. It was evidently better for Huo Yuao to fight instead of him. With the Dragon Emperor Douluo's identity, there was no way he would harm someone so much younger than him. Even if he lost, he just had to surrender the materials they had extorted from Jin Chen. Furthermore, he believed that Huo Yuao was the best at creating miracles. He had twin martial souls and an ultimate martial soul. If the Dragon Emperor Douluo used the same rank of soul power, he might actually have a chance. At least this also gave them an opportunity to delay. Why did they depart later? Not only was he trying to widen their gap with the other students, but they were also waiting for reinforcements. When Huo Yuao mentioned that they might be ambushed, he had already let out a secret signal. Reinforcements were likely to be on their way. Huo Yuao pointed to the ground and said, "Let's fight down there." Long Xiaya was amused and started laughing. "I forgot. You can't fly. Let's go down then." Yan Shaosh was slightly worried as he saw black fog surging not far from where they were. Although he trusted Shenliner, it was possible that the other party had invited another titled Douluo, since they could even snag the help of Long Xiaya. If there was another titled Douluo, Shenliner would be in trouble. After hearing Long Xiaya, it was evident that he had no intention of letting her off. Huo Yuao was smart and could tell Yan Shaosh's intention from his eyes. He thought of something and said, "Elder Long, let's make a bet. What do you think?" Long Xiaya chortled and said, "Bet? To me, that's a rather new word. Tell me about it." Huo Yuao said, "I believe that the fight between Dean Shenliner and the Scorpion Tiger Douluo should be at a stalemate now, right?" Long Xiaya nodded and replied, "You're right. In that duel, it's highly likely that they will both end up critically injured." Huo Yuao said, "You can also tell that I'm only rank 50, just a 5-ring Soul King. What do you think will happen if I join in their fight?" Long Xiaya laughed. "Little fellow, you're really confident. Do you really think that you can participate in a fight between Transcendent Douluo?" Huo Yuao laughed too, but his laughter was a little sly. This piqued Long Xiaya's interest further. "This is what I want to bet with you. I'm confident that I can help Dean Shen win this fight in less than a minute after I join it. Do you dare to bet with me?" "Oh." Long Xiaya's expression finally changed, and he took a serious look at Huo Yuao. He said, "Little fellow, you're betting with your life here. I can't see how you have any chance of winning. Furthermore, you can't play any tricks in front of me. You can't even depend on Yan Shaosh." Huo Yuao said arrogantly, "I'm using my own strength. I don't need anybody's help. Do you dare to bet with me? I don't have any outrageous requests. Just if I win, please ensure that the three of us can return to the academy safely. Of course, our previous arrangement won't change. If I can't force you to move within 3 strikes, I'll return the ring to you." Long Xiaya smiled and said, "Little fellow, you're kidnapping me. However, how can I not follow along with you even though I know you're setting a trap for me? I haven't seen something so interesting in years. All right, let me see how you can end their fight in less than a minute." As he spoke, the Dragon Emperor Douluo leapt up and appeared thousands of meters away. At his level of cultivation, he was no different from a god. He could control space and his soul power at will. "You owl." Yan Shaosh said softly, "Do you have confidence?" "Yes." Huo Yuao nodded his head. Yan Shaosh didn't say anything more. If it were any other student, Yan Shaosh would have thought that they were too conceited. However, Huo Yuao was different. He had created too many miracles. Before he'd even obtained 3 rings, he had managed to turn the tables in the Elite Continental Advanced Soul Master Academy Soul Dueling Tournament. His abilities were very strong. The flying type soul tool behind his back flashed brightly and dragged his body into the air under his immaculate control. He started to make deep, chanting noises. They were noises that followed a special frequency and rhythm. Both Yan Shaosh and Long Xiaya couldn't understand what he was chanting. Dim white light started to shine in Huo Yuao's eyes, and when his eyes turned completely white, the sky turned bright. The sun had looked very dim as it was covered by the Scorpion Tiger Douluo's gloomy clouds. However, it now became more and more intense under Huo Yuao's incantations. Yan Shaosh felt it the most since he was the closest to Huo Yuao. He could sense a magical, attractive force coming from his body. It was drawing the light element in the air to his body. Yan Shaosh was also of the light type and was from the same origin as Elder Mu's lineage. Although he wasn't a radiant holy dragon, instead a radiant phoenix, his sensation towards the light element was still very strong. After the light elements gathered around Huo Yuao's body, they formed a strange resonation and started transforming. Amidst the deep chanting, these white lights started to turn into a different kind of element that even Yan Shaosh was unable to discern. He lifted his right hand, and his body started to light up. The Eye of Destiny also turned white, and an illusory light projection was formed by the white lights behind his back. It was Electrolux. "Teacher, it's great to see you again." Even though Huo Yuao couldn't see what was behind him, he could sense it through his spiritual detection. "Bestow me strength, sunlight." Huo Yuao shouted into the sky. A magical scene appeared. The sun seemed to have heard his call. A strong ray of white light descended from the sky and landed on his body. Electrolux's figure fused into his body, and the white light was deflected toward the soul beasts in the distance. Their pathetic screams sounded instantly. It was as if countless soul beasts were being massacred, and screams reverberated through the air. The soul beasts that surrounded Shenliner disappeared and revealed the Scorpion Tiger Douluo's original body. The Scorpion Tiger Douluo. Jiang Kang was appalled. He felt a clear tremor in his heart. The soul beasts that he'd taken so much effort to gather instantly broke free from his control and fled in all directions. If Shenliner couldn't exploit an opportunity like this, she wasn't fit to be called a Valkyrie. A huge green dragon suddenly surfaced in midair. Shenliner let out a sonorous dragon roar. She stepped on the green dragon and pointed her pike forward. It instantly changed into a green bolt of lightning that struck towards Jiang Kang. However, Jiang Kang was still a transcendent Douluo. He didn't panic even in such a situation. As his figure quickly retreated, his ninth soul ring flashed. His Scorpion Tiger true body started to expand, then changed into countless black figures that flew around. At least a third of these black figures were vaporized when the green bolt of lightning passed by them. When Jiang Kang appeared again, he was already 1,000 meters away. His face was pale. As he groaned, he spat out fresh blood. However, he didn't turn his attention back to Shenliner. Rather, he turned towards the source of that terrifying aura. He saw the white light around Huo Yuao dissipating, as Huo Yuao returned to Yan Shaosh's side. What strength is this? The Scorpion Tiger Douluo was completely horrified. He felt that the strength that made him terrified wasn't very strong and couldn't cause any harm. However, the element that it contained was very scary. It caused his beast soul to be engulfed in fear instantly. Huo Yuao smiled and said, "This is the strength of light. Light is used to remove darkness." Jiang Kang shouted, "Rubbish. What do you know about the strength of light? Even if it's light, it can't make my beast soul terrified." He didn't mention that he was extremely fearful. Huo Yuao didn't explain anything. Facts spoke louder than words. Without a doubt, he won the bet he made with the Dragon Emperor Douluo. As he made a step out, Long Xiaya had arrived in front of Huo Yuao. This time, he was more focused as he looked at him. "It isn't just the strength of light. It seems to be a special force that can frighten spirits. I've lost." I'll uphold the agreement and spare the three of you. However, can you tell me what the force you just used is called? Even UN doesn't seem to possess it. Who couldn't possibly lie in front of the Dragon Emperor Douluo and said subconsciously, it's a purification force. Yes, it was a purification force. The jinx of all spirits. No matter what spirit, it would be feeble and dissipate in the face of a purification force once it lost its original body. With Huo's cultivation, he couldn't threaten the scorpion tiger Douluo, another transcendent Douluo, even if he unleashed the purification force. However, this purification force caused all beast souls to subconsciously feel fear. No matter how weak the purification force was, it still contains the aura of purification. Once a beast soul encountered this aura, it would cause irreversible harm. Furthermore, Huo even borrowed the strength of sunlight, and this purification force wasn't too insignificant. It was possible for him to harm one or two soul beasts. Like teacher, like disciple, Electrolux's proficiency in necromancy was undoubted. Why? It was because he was a light-type necromancer. Furthermore, he possessed the purest power of light. Huo wasn't light-type, but his spiritual powers were great. He could succeed as he temporarily controlled the power of light under Electrolux's incantations. Purification force. What an impressive purification force. I didn't expect that you had such a talent. However, you don't seem to be light-type. Long Xiaya revealed a weird look of admiration in his eyes. The scorpion tiger Douluo didn't get closer, but Shenlina didn't pursue him. She quickly returned to Yan Xiaoshu's side and took a look at Long Xiaya. Her eyes were also filled with terror. Although she had been involved with fighting Jiankang earlier, she could clearly see when Long Xiaya appeared. She could also hear Yan Xiaoshu's words. At that point in time, her heart sank. The Dragon Emperor Douluo was too reputable. However, no one would have expected such a change. She managed to win the scorpion tiger Douluo with the help of Huo and he was even hurt. Shenlina believed that she and Yan Xiaoshu could resist the Dragon Emperor Douluo even if they couldn't win him. Huo asked Long Xiaya, one can't use the strength of light if one's not of light type? Whose rule is that? Long Xiaya chortled and said, interesting. The noises that you made from your mouth, they should be gathering the powers of the light element. It's my first time seeing something like this. Let's go, little fellow. Show me how much more you can surprise me. As he said this, he already flew downwards. Yan Xiaoshu and Shenlina heaved a sigh of relief. They understood that this meant that they had passed this barrier. Even if Huo lost his bet, he would only lose the materials. Their lives wouldn't be in danger. As he turned to the two deans, Huo appeared apologetic. Sorry, Dean Yuan, and Dean Shen. I didn't expect to give the both of you so much trouble. Yan Xiaoshu waved his hand and said, no, what will come will come. Even if it's not this time, the Dragon Emperor Douluo will appear sooner or later. It's also better to meet him earlier. At least we'll have more time to prepare. You've already surprised us. Don't push yourself too hard later. While the rare metals are precious, they aren't essential. We'll have the chance to obtain them again. This Dragon Emperor Douluo is at least credible. Just do your best. He won't hurt you. All right. Huo nodded his head and the three of them flew down together. The scorpion tiger Douluo came beside Long Xiaoyan and said, Dragon Emperor, this. Long Xiaoyan glanced at him and stopped him from speaking any further. Yes, I'll follow your instructions. Jiang Peng retreated a few steps and looked at Huo. His eyes flashed, as if he was thinking of something. Long Xiao looked at Huo and smiled. He said, come on, little fellow. I'll let you strike 3 times. Just unleash all your abilities. I won't retaliate. As long as you can make me move even slightly or make me summon the strength of my martial soul, I'll concede defeat. How about that? I'll only use soul power of the same rank to defend. Huo nodded his head and slowly shut his eyes. From the sound of it, he seemed to be at an advantage. The Dragon Emperor Douluo was only going to use his Soul King level soul power and wouldn't even retaliate. In fact, Huo knew how terrifying the abilities of such transcendent individuals were after he faced Titan. Even if he didn't use higher rank soul powers, his body was still at the level of an ultimate Douluo. His spiritual powers were the same too. They couldn't be weakened. That was why Huo knew that his spirit spiritual type soul skills were useless against him. He could only use his soul skills to force him to move. Shenlina seemed to be asking Yan Xiaoshu something with her eyes. Yan Xiaoshu replied, trust him. This kid knows what to do. He must have some basis before he dared to bet with the Dragon Emperor Douluo. If he told you that he could have helped you to defeat the scorpion tiger Douluo, would you have believed him? Shenlina shook her head and replied, whatever it is, we have to protect this kid. Elder Mu was right. He's Shrek's future hope. In a few years, he will become a dragon god Douluo. Yes, even if I have to sacrifice my life, I won't let anyone harm my little junior. Teacher entrusted him to me. Yan Xiaoshu's gaze became very determined. After Elder Mu passed away, his character had changed greatly over these few years. After the Soul Tool department experienced a rise, he also developed several changes. Huo stood there quietly and started to experience changes. He quickly turned into an entire entity as he stood there calmly. The Dragon Emperor Douluo nodded his head. Huo combined with the heaven. While he was still young, he managed to reach such a level. Elder Mu had indeed nurtured an outstanding disciple. Although his soul power rank was a little weak, he seemed to be walking a different cultivation path. He was first increasing his spirituality before he increased his soul power. A dim layer of golden light surfaced on Huo's body. The golden light wasn't very strong, but the four-titled Douluo's eyes brightened when they saw it. They all had keen eyes and could tell what it was. This was a sign of an external manifestation of spiritual powers. It was their first time seeing a Soul King doing something like this. They were even more shocked after this. The golden lights on Huo's body started to become thicker and thicker, while his aura kept on becoming stronger and stronger. A layer of golden fog started to rise above his body. He was accumulating his powers frenetically. His soul powers were compressed as they fused with his spiritual powers. He's trying to do it in one shot. The Dragon Emperor Douluo thought to himself. At this point, Huo's eye of destiny opened and focused in the direction of Long Xiaya. Suddenly, Long Xiaya felt his hair standing on his back. How's this possible? How is he making me feel threatened? Long Xiaya was shocked. Huo moved. At this instant, he moved. Behind him, 4 Class 6 soul thrusters released an unprecedentedly strong light. He was like a golden meteor that was crashing down towards Long Xiaoyan. He didn't use any soul skill and purely used force. His right fist was targeted towards Long Xiaoyan's chest. Long Xiaoyan remained rooted to the ground. He only lifted his left hand quietly to face Huo's fist. Peek. The fist and palm collided. Amidst a deep, rumbling sound, the golden light around Huo's body became stronger. The suppressive force was about to take down his opponent. A layer of dim silvery light flashed across Long Xiao's eyes. He remained where he was without moving, but he didn't retaliate either. He allowed the intense golden lights to impact his body. He didn't move a single inch. Sovereign's descent. I didn't expect Brother Mu's Sovereign's descent to have been imparted to you. You're fit to become his disciple just based on this fist. Long Xiao approved of Huo from the bottom of his heart. He was impressed by the spirit that Huo demonstrated in his fist. Whether it was his comprehension of the Sovereign's descent, the combination of his soul and spiritual powers, or his competitive will, he had reached the highest level of a Soul King. Even Dragon God Douluo couldn't compare to him at this age. Huo retracted his fist and drifted down. He did something no one imagined. As he retracted his fist, he made a sideways flip and did a handstand. At the same time, a strong chill was released from his body. It felt like a tornado that was initiated by a snowstorm and windstorm. His index finger was pressing against the ground and he started to revolve quickly with his finger as the center. A layer of orangey gold light surfaced on his body. An extreme chill engulfed him and the Dragon Emperor Douluo. Ultimate ice? Long Xiaya was stunned as he said. As Huo flicked his left hand, the snow and windstorm that was expanding outward stopped. Only his palm was gently struck towards Long Xiaya's belly. He was using a capturing technique from Tang Sect, but he changed from a grabbing motion to a slapping motion. Long Xiaya instantly felt an indescribable chill penetrating his palm. There was even an intense and special aura within this chill. Things were not looking good. Long Xiaya didn't think Huo was capable of unleashing such a palm. At this point, Huo exerted a force from his right hand. As he flipped over, a streak of deep blue sword light was shot out of his right hand. It was aimed towards the center between Long Xiaya's legs. Long Xiaya held a respectable status and naturally had to keep to his words. As he sparred with Huo, he only used rank 50 soul power. Otherwise, Huo's Snowless Glacier wouldn't be able to overcome his defense no matter how strong it was. The Clear Sky Sect Master Nuitian once mentioned that the only way way from remaining unharmed from the smallest glacier was to avoid it. In terms of cultivation, Long Xiaoyao was superior to Titan. However, Titan wasn't restricted by his soul powers then, but his arm was still frozen by Huo Yuao. Due to the current environment that they were in and the sudden use of the domain, his palm was weaker than the previous time. However, it was only slightly weaker. Long Xiaoyao's entire right arm lost feeling. Huo Yuao didn't show any mercy to this dragon Douluo. He was about to unleash his ice explosion technique, while the unparalleled chill, Emperor Sword was also initiated at this point. Even though he only had 3 strikes, Huo Yuao unleashed his fighting strength to its fullest within those 3 strikes. No matter how strong the dragon Douluo was, he was still a guy. When some parts of his body were attacked, he would subconsciously protect them. Simply put, most would rather lose their arm than their lower body if they had to choose. Long Xiaoyao also had such a feeling subconsciously. However, the explosive force that came from his arm also left him extremely astonished. Between victory and his safety, he chose the latter. A layer of pitch black dragon scales covered Long Xiaoyao's right arm. Huo Yuao's ice explosion technique was segregated by the dragon scales that appeared. At the same time, a gust of icy fog was also released from the dragon Douluo's right palm. That extreme chill was forced out from his arm using his immense soul power. Even with Long Xiaoyao's abilities, he still needed to give his all to force out the smallest glacier. Against the unparalleled chill, he could only retreat. A streak of chill swept past and a deep blue sword light shot into the sky. It created a light projection that resembled an icy screen in the air. Huo Yuao had already retreated at this point. Long Xiaoyao looked a little dismal. Even if it was anyone else, he wouldn't feel comfortable as a sharp sword swept past and left a chilly feeling. He didn't just move. He even unleashed his martial soul. He lost this round even more ridiculously than before. Evidently, he didn't understand Huo Yuao's abilities. Similarly, it was also because Huo Yuao was strong enough that he could make the dragon Emperor Douluo lose this bet. Huo Yuao's face surged with a patch of red. As he shrieked, he spat out fresh blood. His blood carried a gust of chill. After collapsing to the ground, the region up to a diameter of 10 meters around him was frozen by a layer of ice. The 3 strikes that he unleashed weren't that simple. He had to unleash his sovereign's descent to the full of his abilities and force Long Xiaoyao to react using his spiritual powers. Following this, he used the snowy dance of ultimate ice. As he revolved, he unleashed the snowy dance of ultimate ice so that it aided his attack. The strength of the domain was greatly enhanced even though he only unleashed it for an instant. After that, it was forcefully stopped. Just this alone caused a heavy burden on his body. The smallest glacier and unparalleled chill that followed impacted Huo Yuao greatly even though he had the help of the Snow Emperor spirit. After the 3 strikes were unleashed, his passageways were also hurt due to the impact of immense soul powers that coursed through them. After spitting out blood, he felt much better. Yan Xiaosh and Shenliner didn't clearly see what Huo Yuao did. It seemed like the dragon Emperor Douluo moved after he unleashed his palm, and a streak of sword light flashed. It was unbelievable. Their first reaction was that the dragon Douluo was giving Huo Yuao a chance. However, the dragon Emperor Douluo spat out a gust of frozen air after that. It was evident that this gust of air was poured into his body by Huo Yuao. Did he really give Huo Yuao a chance? Long Xiaoyang's expression was very dismal. After losing to a kid, he was in low spirits. He nodded his head slightly and said, "You've won. Ultimate ice. Here, you actually have an ultimate martial soul. No wonder Mu'en wanted to accept you as his disciple even though he was dying. It's a pity. I should have discovered you earlier. All of you can go now. I won't put you in a spot anymore on your journey back. Thank you, Elder." At this point, no one dared to mock the dragon Emperor Douluo. Although he lost, he was under a lot of restrictions. He was also an ultimate Douluo. Furthermore, Huo Yuao might not have been able to make him move if he didn't target a spot that left Long Xiaoyao terrified. At this point, Long Xiaoyao lifted his head and looked into the distance. 6 figures appeared on the horizon and they quickly arrived. Their leader was the tatty Douluo, Elder Sun. Elder Sun landed right in front of Huo Yuao. Jiang Peng started to turn dismal when he saw so many people arriving. He was lamenting the fact that they wouldn't be in such an awkward situation if the dragon Emperor Douluo wasn't overconfident and they brought more reinforcements. They weren't able to keep Shenliner and Yan Xiaosh here today. Elder Sun straightaway noticed Long Xiaoyao. He focused his gaze. This person is really strong. Little Sun, long time no see. Long Xiaoyao had already recovered from his loss and faced Elder Sun. He appeared a little lost. "You are." Elder Sun was also shocked. In his memory, Long Xiaoyao was very unfamiliar. There weren't many who would call him in this way either. "I am Long Xiaoyao." Long Xiaoyao smiled as he said, "Long Xiaoyao. Long Xiaoyao." Elder Sun reacted. It wasn't only him. The rest who followed him from Shrek Academy were also shocked. You are alive?" Elder Sun was probably the only one left in Shrek Academy that knew about the enmity between Long Xiaoyao and Elder Mu. That happened more than 100 years ago. Elder Sun didn't expect that he could still see this dragon Emperor Douluo after 100 years and after Elder Mu had passed away. Long Xiaoyao sighed and said, "Yes, Mu'en's gone, but I'm still alive. I'm still alive. Ha ha, ha ha ha." His laughter was filled with sorrow. As he was encircled by the 6 top-ranked titled Douluos, he flew up into the air and escaped. The scorpion tiger Douluo didn't dare to delay and quickly followed beside him. Everyone from Shrek looked at Elder Sun and seemed to be asking him something using their eyes. Elder Sun lightly shook his head and watched as Long Xiaoyao left. He appeared unprecedentedly serious at this point. If the dragon Emperor Douluo wanted to leave, how many people could actually stop him? Even Elder Sun couldn't. Yan Xiaosh came beside Elder Sun and said softly, "Elder Sun." Elder Sun shook his head at him and said, "Let's go. Let's return." He didn't want to speak too much and wore a pensive look on his face. Ever since he replaced Elder Mu as the master of the Sea God's Pavilion, his clothes weren't as dirty anymore and he wasn't as shabby looking too. However, he still had his wine gourd with him. As Elder Sun spoke, he grabbed onto Huo Yuao's arms with one hand and lifted into the air without using a flying type soul tool. He used his soul power to propel his body into the air. Gentle soul power was poured into Huo Yuao's body and alleviated the pain in his passageways. Elder Sun was a little stunned as he glanced at him. It was evident that he was shocked that Huo Yuao's cultivation had reached rank 50. Elder Sun. Huo Yuao was a little agitated as he called. He was touched from the bottom of his heart. To welcome his safe return, Elder Sun came personally and even brought a few elders from the Sea God's Pavilion. This demonstrated how close they were. After hearing his call, Elder Sun revealed a smile on his face. "Obedient kid, you've done well. We all know about your contribution to the Academy and we'll always recognize it. Thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Also leave a comment down below with suggestions on what novels to read.